Hello everyone. Welcome to this study jams, which is being conducted by Hackslash. This would be the second session of the study jams, and today we would be discussing about the web development. Basically, this session would be an introduction to the web dev, and in this session we would be covering about HTML and CSS. Okay, so HTML and CSS, as we know, are like the basis of the web development. Okay, HTML is like a skeleton, CSS is like a paint or flesh to it, while the JavaScript is the nervous system or the logic. Okay, so web development has a very broad scope. Okay, but the key aspects or the core aspects which we could like understand are basically making websites or web applications. Okay, today nowadays like there are trending like web apps. Okay, like you would install it on your PC and then you can run it independently. Okay, so we would you would be knowing all of this later when you like pursue this field or like try to go deep into this field. So that's what these study jams are all about, to explain what is what. Okay, so web development is basically a process of building and maintaining websites. Okay, it has a very broad, like the spectrum of this is very huge. Okay, we could have like basic simple static websites, or like a very complex web application, like you can imagine of YouTube. YouTube has like a video player somewhere, and then it has like a comment section, like and then there is a feed which you could interact with. So it's a very complex website. Okay, so we could, if we have enough knowledge, which we would have if we pursue it, we would be able to build all of that. Okay, so the key aspects would be creating user interfaces. This would be done by the UI UX team. Usually UI UX team, usually they create the user interfaces and all. Then the data and databases. Then also we have to ensure security. Obviously, we don't want anyone to like attack on our website and take our whole server down. Okay, so it also encompasses that. Obviously, we want to optimize for performance. Not everybody has 5G internet or something, so we want to make sure that our website runs with the minimum possible bandwidth which we can optimize for. Then we have APIs to talk with other services, and there is all this testing and debugging. Obviously, we want a polished product, so that's it. So web development has two broad fields. Okay, first of all, it would be, sorry if like if it's in the middle, it would be better, I think. Yes, for now. So the web dev will have two broad fields. Okay, front end and back end development. Okay, so what would be so what categorizes as front end and what categorizes as back end? I will try to explain you. So let's say we open www.google.com. Okay, so whatever we see, this all stuff like Google, the search bar and all, it comprises of front end. Okay, and when we type, imagine we type uh, W3 school or type YouTube. Okay, YouTube. Okay, then you see this all suggestions which came up, and then we clicked on it, and then it gets all of this data from somewhere. So this is the part of backend. This is what usually backend would give us. Okay, we will get we will send a request, then we will get a response, and we will get all of these, and then our web browser would display that. The display part is front end, while all of this logic or getting the stuff, getting the results, queries, and it all comprises of the backend. The data and all also comprises of backend. Okay, so as so to do front end. Okay, okay, now see, you can do either front end or backend, okay, or both. We will discuss, we will see this all of this. So firstly, front end is done by HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, these are like three pillars or the three fundamental technologies which you should know to make all of this. Okay, it comprises of UI, responsive layouts, visual elements, experience, and backend, server side, very important. And it uses technologies. First of all, these are like languages, language and all. It has technologies Python. In Python, you have Django, Flask. Flask is for front end, I think. And then there is Java, Java server pages, JSP, jQueries, and jQuery. And then there is Node.js. Node.js is a runtime environment. And then there are databases. Obviously, we want to store our data somewhere, so that's that. And then there is all other things, security and all. So okay, so if we want, we can specialize in front end. Okay, we create very nice looking websites and all, interactive, very fast websites, fast. Or we can specialize in back end. Okay, like all the databases and all, access, security and all, everything. Okay, or we can do both. Okay, we combine both of these, we get proficient enough for both of the part. Usually in the big companies you would be working on a certain aspect, okay, not everything, but yes, for learning purposes, and it's very useful also for making projects which are very important. We would be requiring the knowledge of both front end and back ends. Okay, so that's that. Full stack development, both front end and back end. Okay, so before we dive deep, we would be first discussing how internet work. So internet has basic client server architecture. Okay, a device request information, then a device at some other location would give a response to your request. Okay, so that's the server which sends response, the client which sends the request. Okay, then there are protocol. Okay, HTTP is an old protocol. It works on the port 80. HTTPS I think works on 445. So HTTPS has security, it has encryption. Okay, so the data over the HTTP can be intercepted. Okay, and it can be like read by your ISP or somewhere proficient enough to know what how to read it. Okay, so but HTTPS has encryption, SSL, secure service layer, TLS, which is used to secure the communication between a client and the server. Then obviously you want to request via something and you want to receive the request on something, so that's what web browsers do. Web browsers would allow you or make it easier for you to send requests, and web browsers will also read the request and like render it on your screen. Okay, like here we send the request YouTube or YouTube music, we send a request to the server, then the server replied it with these many results. So the web browser, what it did, it relayed you the results. Okay, it displayed you results so you can see or you can understand it efficiently. Okay, web browser have also these things like managing cookies, providing security warnings, and like if you go to something like a website which is very old or a government website, usually you will see like uh, something here, the connection is not secured. So these all things are baked into the web browser. Okay, cookies are usually for storing data. Small cookies or small, it basically is a data packet, something which would have the data onto your laptop, so that every time when you like go to YouTube, you don't have to sign in. Okay, like if I sign in here, it will store a cookie on my computer so that it knows, okay, Aditya has signed in, so I have to show his feed and all. Okay, so now we came into the pillars or the fundamentals, the Java's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So today we would be mostly covering, mostly or like covering the HTML and CSS part only. obviously this field is very vast. Okay, every day there's new something, there's new revisions and all. So obviously this is not the whole content. Okay, but yes, it will give you an idea of what to expect from the web dev, what to do in the web dev, and what we do. Okay, so that's it. So so firstly we have to we need a software to write code. Obviously we can use notepad, and if some people are in like CSE, the CSE one would relate, the professors would tell you to use notepad or notepad plus plus or something like that, which are like very minimal and it does not have any syntax or something. Or you may use something like VS Code, Sublime Text. These are text editors. Okay, you write code, it makes your life easier, it makes it easier to write your code. Okay, these things like web browsers, as I told you, web browser has many functions, it makes the life easier for you. The the editors, or the code editors, or the development tools, they make your life is easier, they make your development easier. Okay, so the most popular ones are for web dev. The most popular are VS Code, Atom is now depreciated, Atom does not exist now. VS Code and WebStorm is sort of paid and sort of free. You can download it for personal use and all. VS Code is free. Okay, so it's that. WebStorm is more like advanced. When you develop full apps or something, it makes your life easier. But today, as already you had a GitHub session and you had VS Code installed, so we would be proceeding on the VS Code. Okay, we also have our web browsers and their developer tools. Okay, so I would show you, in fact, on how the stuff works. So let's see. I go YouTube or Google. So that's a web page. Okay, front end. You go inspect element. Many of you would be already familiar with this thing. Okay, so this is how the Google page looks like. It's the code. If you copy all of this code and then if you save it as an HTML file and you run it, you would be able to see the same. Okay, so what we have, inspecting elements. Okay, view, edit, HTML, CSS. For example, let's see, this button, let's see, we change it. So it has, what is written, it's written Google search. I can make it /search. See, /search. So it's that, editing and all. Okay, then we have console. Okay, console is very important. When you learn about the JavaScript in the next session, you will be using console very frequently. Okay, so console is this. Okay, this is the console. You have everything here, so that's it. Then we have network tab. Here we can see which request is being sent and what is being fetched and all. These are all high level function, you have to read about it. Obviously it's not very basic, but these are tools which you would be using when you know enough. Okay, then there are performance tool. Okay, Chrome web dev tools. So as you can see, the browser is Edge. Currently I'm using Edge is based on Chromium, so basically like Chrome. uh, okay, if you are not, okay, I may be saying something which is not like, which is like over the top or something going to your head. It's completely fine. You can, you just process it. Okay, listen it, and then search. Okay, like I said, Chromium. You don't know about Chromium, it's fine. Search Chromium. Ah, yeah, Chromium. Then you can see out, read it on Wikipedia and all. See, as I search, everything is like at what time what is being sent and all, it gets. So like that, you search, The more you search, the more you explore, the more you know. Knowledge is obtained like that. Okay. So now there is Git, very useful. Okay. You would have already learned about this in the previous session of GitHub. So you are highly recommended to check out that. Huh. So pretty long, yes. Section 4. So we are currently now at web dev career paths. So I discussed all of this like front end and what we learned. Okay. So there's okay, now there's new something new. Frameworks and libraries. See, these three musketeers or something, these are all the fundamentals or the pillars, okay? But obviously, to make our life more simpler, many people came up with some more stuff like React, Angular, Vue. React is the most popular one right now, so you are highly recommended to learn, and we would be having this in our sessions. Okay, so after JS there is a build and then there is a intro to React, so you would be learning about all of this. Okay, so we use this to make our life more easier. Like in a JavaScript, you may have complex code. React makes it more easier. Then there are tools. I discussed all about this. Responsibilities of the front end developer, uh, layout and all. Then cross browser compatibility. Like for example, between Chrome and Safari, both have different browser engines and all. So then we have to optimize it, obviously. Then the backend developer. Backend developer mostly focuses on server side. Their main tool is like console, so that's it, and terminals. Um, they are focused on database, server logic, APIs, okay, and they ensure that the front end has the data and services it needs. Okay, their languages, Node.js, basically JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript, Node.js is a runtime environment. Okay, Node.js, then there is Express, which is a library on Node.js, and then there's Python, very popular, very easy, but gets very complex also. Then there is Ruby, then there is Java, and then there is PHP. Databases, we have no MySQL, which is an SQL database or relational. These are basically relational databases. You would the CS people would be learning all about this. Then there's Postgres SQL, then there's MongoDB. It's a no SQL database. Once again, if you are not able to understand, let it go for now, and then when you recollect all of this, you obviously check out like whole, you can search on this. Okay, frameworks, then there are tools, APIs, Git and all. So a full stack developer would be proficient in this, in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, backend. Yes, so full stack would have both combination and combination of both front end and back end. Okay, full stack developer handles everything. uh, they are proficient in both. Okay, they know both, basically best of both worlds. Okay, rest of thing is same. So finally after all this 18 slides, finally we are on HTML. So we would be covering HTML fundamentals. So before that, I would like to have like show you how we would be working on it. Okay, so first of all, I put this on this side. Hmm. Hmm. No, it's fine. So first of all, we would be making a folder. Yes. So folder. Let's say, so this is our folder. Then what we'll do, we open with code. You are using Visual Studio Code, so VS Code. So you will have this open with code, open with it. So now when you open, you have like Okay, trust, yes, I trust the water, obviously. So you have this interface, okay? It may be a little bit similar to what it would be similar to what you would see, obviously minus a setup and all. So it's little bit different, but it would be almost same. Okay, so we have this our VS code. I would put it on this side, and then I have this side, and then I do it this. Okay, so HTML stand for what HTML stands for. HTML stand for hypertext markup language, fundamental way of create standard or fundamental way of creating web pages. We have tags, HTML tags, we call it backbone, as I already told you, skeleton. It's not a programming language but a markup language. Okay, okay, it describes the structure and semantic of the content. Okay, so how does an HTML document seems like? So obviously now we are on this code part. Okay, so let's check it out. So first of all, we are in our list, and then we add a new file. Let's say good practice is to use index.html for like naming your main file or the main page. Okay, so so this is like the VS Code. Okay, I also want to show you this extension which you should use. Live server. Where is this? Yes, so there is a live server. You basically click on this extension pack and then search live server. Let me close this. Then you click on this. You can install it. Very easy, very good. So for now, firstly, this page is empty, obviously. So you must install the live server, or you can view it in another way also. You basically have to like go here, like in the directory which you made. Okay, directory this, actually this. Then you click on index, and then you open with your web browser, and it's empty right now, so it's like this. Okay. So you can open it like that, or you can use the live server. Yeah, open with live server. Yeah, so we are now open. Yes, so I should make it small. Okay, so now right now I am running out of the screen's real estate, so bear with me and I will show you. Okay, so right now this is the screen. Okay, live reload not possible obviously. Okay, so this is our, so we are going to write code on it. Okay, so what we would do, firstly, we obviously for a document, or even with your body, you have something like bones, you have like chest, you have ribs, you have your neck bone and all, so skull you have, so it's like this. So firstly we want to tell the browser, our browser, this Edge or Chrome browser, that hello, I want to view and I am sending you an HTML document and you want to read it. So obviously first we have to tell it. So it's doc type HTML. We use this tag for this purpose. Okay, it declares the document type. Then there is HTML. What is the root of element? Like what is it? So HTML is our root element, obviously. Then we have head. Okay, head. First of all, head loads first. It has a metadata. Okay, it would load first on your web browser. Okay, it basically it's not load. It tells the browser what it has. Okay, so first it has title. Okay, so let's code side by side maybe. So so why I also want to like now kind of like tell you why we use VS Code. Okay, so we have to write this doc type. Okay, so you press the symbol first, like the less than symbol. So see, there is already a boilerplate for you. Okay, so you click on it, doc type HTML. Yes, you can also use tab, very helpful. Now you use HTML. See, when I press the tab icon, tab on your keyboard, I got the opening and the closing tab. The tags are, most of the tags are in pair. Okay, as we will see, most of the tags are in pair. Most of them are not. Some of them are not. Most of them are in pairs. So it's like that. It's the convention. We must use it. So HTML, told we told our that okay, this is my HTML page. Now I have to put head. Then we want to tell the title. So we know title. Okay, so let's say what would be our title? It would be hackslash. Okay, so hackslash, I have this. Okay, so our basic thing is ready. Okay, so if now I open it here, then okay, so did you see, like, first let me comment it. Okay, so to comment it, comments are basically the piece of code you write, but it would not be interpreted by your compiler or your interpreter. Okay, so if I control and slash, they would be very near to each other. It would be commented out, basically meaning it would not be seen or would not be interpreted by your browser here. So let's see, we have the address. By default it goes to the address. This is my address, it is my IP, my port number, and then the file name. It's if I uncomment it, means I want it to get parsed by the web browser or want to be read by the web browser. Do this and see. It would be better, I think, if I do something like this. Would it be okay? The PPT needs to be bigger. Nice. Yes. So that works. So see, we would be seeing side by side what would be the output of whatever we do. So it's like that. We got our title. We also have this viewport something. It basically tells our browser that okay, our device has initial device with this and meta. So basically we can copy it. Otherwise the session would be too long. So copy it maybe. You can write it obviously. This is very general stuff, so you can use it. Basically, device would take the data from the Chrome or the browser and would tell the site like okay, my device will do this. Okay, so that's that. So okay, so head is now done. Now we have, obviously we have our head. Now we need our body. So body. Obviously we want to show something. Okay, so it's our body. So our body is now ready. Now let's see, maybe we want something to be written here. Okay, here. So we would use h1. H1 is for heading. Okay, heading. Then hello. See, it's an heading now. Okay, so likewise, let's say we want a paragraph. So p, hi. Or rather I am a heading. Paragraphs have basically H1, they have like predefined font boldness and all, font weight, font size and all. So it interprets basis on the basis of your screen. Okay, so that's that. The always see the closing tags. Okay, so the HTML has these many standard tags. There are more tags, but these are some very useful ones. Okay, so there is a header, page section or header. Okay, then there's a nav bar. And now you will ask, what is a nav bar? So let's see. Okay, so this one is the old site. Okay, this is not the new one. Okay, so I would be like showing it to you, this one. But or let me check for the new URL. So basically, what nav bar is? Nav bar is this. Okay, see, you have navigation. Okay, so nav bar is this, and let me also show you, or I could like use the new side also to show you, and you would know about it. Hmm. Hmm. So this is the new Hackslash site. Okay, so I would be explaining with this. So this is the navbar. This thing is navbar. Okay. We what is navbar for? Navbar is for going into these, like maybe I want to check out the team. So I check out the team. I go to website who has designed and all. So this is me. And then there are our office wearers. Basically, these are like the navigation bar, the parts of page which a person want to visit, or it's like required to visit, something like that. Basically important stuff. Okay, important stuff, very easy. Yes, so this is the nav bar. Then there is a main tag, then there is article, section, footer. What is footer? Footer is this thing at the end of the every page. Example, teams, end of the every page there is one thing, this is footer. Okay, then there is sidebar content you can put. Then there's audio and video and image also. Image tag is also there, so that's that. Okay, so yes, so now we are on the headings and the paragraph. Okay, so obviously I would not be running everything on this video, or otherwise the video would be too long. So what I would be doing, I would be running the main thing, and you can explore it. Obviously I would that this PPT would be provided to you, so you can see what all about it. So what are in the PPT, you can copy it also easily. You can copy it, and then you can paste on similar, like similar file or something, and then you can check out everything. It's just easy. Okay, copy paste is also when programmers do. So let's get back to the topic. Yes, so H1, H2 and H3. Okay, headings are of different types. So then there is, you've seen already seen H1, H2. Hello, I am H2. Let's see H3. H4. Hmm. So as you can see, headings. So H1 is the biggest one, obviously most important. Then there is then the importance decreases. Okay. So why do we need these many heading tags? Why? What is the need of this? Okay, so let's show you. So obviously this is a big heading, okay, H1. Then there is a small heading, H2. Then there is another heading, okay. So everything, or let's go see, this is an heading H1. There is something smaller, okay, or H1, H2. Then there is a paragraph and form and everything, okay. So the HTML provides you the built-in tags which you could use for headings, and similarly for the paragraphs. Let's run everything, like let's try all of this. So I do this, I make it commented off. Okay, now I do not have any heading. I also delete this and I control V, paste it. Let's make it a little better. Yes, so as you can see, there is a regular paragraph text. Let me add something. BR is like a break tag. Okay, I am just putting it to make it a little more clear. Okay, so this is quoted text. Okay, obviously you need more things which makes it like a emphasized emphasis. Then there is a highlighted text. Okay, so what, the yellow is the basic color, you can customize it on in this cases. We would learn about this. Okay, we can do everything, all of this, we can customize everything, every aspect of this. Okay, so this is this. Now obviously we know like there is like some to-do list or something. Okay, there is Google task and all. So obviously we can make tables and we can also make lists. So first we would be checking out list. Why list? Why list? Why we need list? Okay, so obviously everything has a need, everything has a question, so everything has a need, so everything has an answer. So lists, so here are they. So everything is a list, and so that's that. Then there's table also, we can make tables and all. So how how we create list? So using a tag. So this tag for unordered list, basically what is an unordered list? An unordered list is like with dots and all. Okay, the basic example would be dots. So an unordered list is created by the tag ul, and an ordered list is created by ol. Then there is a definition list also. So let's see how it looks like. So we would copy that. We can obviously write all of this, but obviously I have already written all of this. So um what it's missing. Okay, so then there is definition list. Okay, so now you can see the unordered list. These are the unordered list, obviously dots, no order. And then there is the ordered list, 1 2 3 numerals and all, an order. Then there is term and definition. Basically it's like an indentation something. So we have a term, then we define the term. Usually you see this in Wikipedia. Let's okay, so as you can see, this, like, there is a term, then there is definition. It's kind of like that. Okay, so then, so now, so we covered the list part. Then we have now, then we did the ordered list. Now we will do we covered the list part. Why it's not getting repeated? Yes, there. So the tables. So I copy everything and then, oh, see, I forgot, I accidentally deleted the body tag. So usually if I run it without body, it the browser would automatically place in body tag while it's rendering. But obviously we don't want to be at the mercy of how the browser interprets our code. So we explicitly define everything. So there is the table. Basically, see the column headers. And we can obviously have lines and all. It is done via CSS. So that's that. So we will delete this. Now we have the images, okay, and links. So why? First question, why? Obviously, we want to put images on our website. We want to put hyperlinks like, let's say, Hackslash. We have images. Then we have links like see lights, maybe Teams. See, we have an hyperlink. Okay, so it's like that. So let's try. Okay, let's try. Let's have an image and then we will try it. Okay, so we can obviously use an external link, or we can use an internal link. So about links, we have internal external links. Okay, there are two types of link. So what is an external link? External link is like this. Okay, we have this, and for example, maybe we have, say, we use an anchor tag. This tag is called an anchor tag. Okay, and we put the link where we want to go inside the opening anchor tag. Okay, so we use href. Okay, we can see everything about this href. The VS code will show it is the documentation. Okay, it's also called the documentation. Then we have this colon, we write google.com. Okay, and then everything after this opening, okay, like now this it is closed, everything after this is displayed like, hi, click me. So see, there's hi, click me. Now if I click on it, it will go to google.com. It's right now cannot get, so we add www.google.com. Okay, cannot get. Okay, so maybe, okay, so we need an HTTPS also. See, I got an error. Okay, you will also get an error. So you have to try, obviously. Oh, now it should work. href, yeah, HTTPS. See, so what was the missing element? So what we learned from this error? We need this header. We need the header. Okay, so it's an external link. We can also have an internal link, like in this Hackslash one. See, we have Teams. This is an internal page. We are not going to any other domain. See, this part of the website is called domain. After HTTPS, till that .com, .app, .in, everything, it's part of the domain. Okay, so it's an internal page. So we can also have an internal page. Okay, so the external and internal page. Okay, so external internal pages are defined like this. Like I defined the google.com, it was defined as an internal page. That's why it could not find it. Like that, we have an email one also. When we click on this, as you can see, like, see, there's small mail to @ niche. Yes, so there's this. So when I click on this, it will take me to the email provider. Okay, so maybe let's, for fun, we try this also. Okay, or maybe let's just try it this one also. Hmm. Maybe I add a break. Okay, this thing represent a line break. It's like print f but without any argument. Okay, like if In C you write printf, and then you do this, and then you do this. Or best example, backslash n, new line. It's basically the break works like that. It puts element to the new. So obviously we have example idea send email. So what it will do, it will open, in most cases it would open your default email provider and you could send a mail to it. I can maybe show this to you. So see, I got a pop-up. Obviously I which email provider to use which something. So because Chrome is set as a default email client for my PC, so I got a pop-up of Chrome. So similarly you would get a pop-up. It depends on device to device. So now we move on to the image. So we can put like that, like we put the external and internal, we can also put image via it. So now let's just get an image. Yes, this look nice. So first we would need this image URL to copy image link. Okay, we got the image link. Okay, so now okay, we put this. Okay, then you close it. So, and the image tag is a self closing tag. Okay, it closes on obviously. Okay, it closes, like it does not need a closing tag, it's just this. Okay, so now maybe yes, see, the image gets fetched from the website. Okay, if I like disconnect my internet, let's see, yes, I disconnected my internet. Now I do this refresh. Okay, it's already like in the cache memory, so nothing happens. But if I do not have it, it will get like, it will have like a link or something. Okay, it will not show the image. So why why hmm. Yeah, so that's that. Obviously I can make the image smaller, so let's make this image smaller because we cannot see it obviously. So we have to have this image, we have the alt is basically what the description, then we have width. Okay, so after this string we have width I would give 100. Width is the broadness. Okay, breadth I get, oh, it's too small, 500. Okay, and then I have height, so I put height. See, the height was 100 pixels, so it squished, it got squished like that. So okay, so obviously we can have responsiveness also. We would see this all in the CSS responsiveness, what responsiveness is. Okay, and then we have forms. Forms are like this. Let me show you already. Okay, so get in touch, or let's go to the homes page. So this is the form. Okay, so form has obviously a method, action, what button, what do. Okay, so this form has submission via the submit button. So the form has different type of attributes for text input, for password input type equal to password. So what it would do, it would make the letters dot dot dot. Maybe let's show to you. This is all fronted by the way. Okay, there is no logic, the data is not sent to anywhere. Okay, so see, there is a form, there is a username, so hello, then there is password. I think no, it's not, it's an email one, so it's need an email. Okay, then there is password. See, in the password one we have like everything is dot dot dot. Okay, then there are list to select or radio buttons. Okay, then there is like a big text area, you can write stuff on it. Then there is like a drop down menu, and then there is submit button. Okay, see the email one has email attribute. Okay, so it made like this is not valid, so it's like that. Then we go to semantic HTML. Okay, so obviously we can write all of this code into this and like dump it on the internet, but obviously we don't do this. Okay, so we make our code readable. Okay, so we give it a structure so that other developers, obviously not only you would be working on the project, so we obviously give it a structure. So semantic HTML makes it all possible. Okay, it makes so that the document makes sense without CSS. CSS is cascading style sheets, which we would learn. Okay, so these are like the tags which we use to create semantic elements. Like we put header, then we have nav. Obviously, see, we can make a nav bar. Obviously, I told you, like, see, list, we can use list to make the nav bar. Hmm? But it not would not be very good. Okay, how would the other person know? Okay, this is navbar, this is not a general list. So we use the semantic elements of the HTML which comes with HTML5, and we define the elements via it. So navbar, then there is main, then there is article is basically a paragraph but without any breaks and all. It is a very big section. Then there is section, then there is aside which is related but different content, then there is footer which I showed you, and there's figure, time, dates and all. Okay, then obviously we want like the disabled person or the persons which cannot see and all to access our website. So what we do, when we put image, we put a description. Like I already, there was a description tag na? Alt. Okay, so basically it has a description. When there is a software on our computer, accessibility softwares, usually it is also in like Edge and all. So, okay, so it has that, so it makes you the screen reader would be able to read all of this. Okay, so accessibility there is. Then what are the best practices or HTML? Okay, HTML best practice, we must declare the doc type. Though the browser would automatically do this. If I have head, it will put this tag also. But obviously, we don't want to be at the mercy of the browser. We want to explicitly define everything so that we have the control over how our document is being rendered. So obviously we want to define everything. We should define this for responsive design, descriptive tags. We should provide indentation, like this is the indentation. Okay, this is indentation like body. So we know, okay, body would be like till this. Okay, so we must do these all. Yes, file names should have this. Okay, so there is like this no space. Why no space? Like there should be, everything exists for a reason. So why there should not be space? When see in the URL, obviously, see, when mostly we don't have any space, because as our technology, as our computers are made, they cannot understand space. So if usually we type anything in the terminal, uh, you may be familiar when you write C code. You must, if it has a space, okay, then you must have enclosed into the quotation marks. Okay, but if you do not wish to give space, you always give hyphens are like this. Okay, so you give hyphens so that you are able, so without using space, hyphens are usually accepted in the terminal also. So you give this so that you can separate the words, you make it easier for the person to understand, for other human to understand, but you also make it easier for the machine to interpret what you are trying to use. Okay, we also must use id and class name. These let me just show you. Okay, so then there is a title, then there is id, id equal to maybe heading one. So basically what id would do, id would make it when you have lot of thing. Okay, like let's see, like this is the main thing, then there is a image one, then there is image two, then there is this paragraph. So we give id to everything, like id team 4, id 405, nougat team id, nougat box, kotlin box, gray interface box. So we give our devs the id, okay, so that we can differentiate it when we are writing code. Also ids and classes are very important in the css part. Okay, also we should, obviously we should like test and all in multiple browsers. We test it in Edge, Chrome, Firefox, so that every user, whatever browser they are using, we could view it, they could view it flawlessly. Okay, so then we also test for performance and all. We check loads, load times, optimize image sizes. Obviously we don't want 4K images or 4K videos to be like rendered on us tiny screen. Okay, it just takes the bandwidth and then the whole experience is slow. So obviously we want to make the website high. I see Google, see how quickly it got opened. Okay, it has just an image, then there are a couple of buttons, then there are links and all. Now see Bing. Obviously this website is very optimized, but see how many things, most of the things are now loading right now. See, even with the college internet, which may be not which may not be very fast, but it still took time to load everything. Okay, obviously why? Because the site has too many elements, it requires the bandwidth. Okay, so obviously we want our site to load fast. We must strike a balance between the functionality and the performance. Okay, it is not necessary to be like Google, just get a search bar. Maybe the user wants something else also. Okay, so we have to study our demographics and we all do all of this and we strike a balance. So we do performance testing for that. Okay, so now this all wraps up the HTML part. Okay, so the HTML part is finished and now we would see the CSS. We would be starting about the CSS or the CSS fundamentals. Okay, so what is, so as like I explained, hmm, in the previous, like in the beginning I explained what is the CSS. Okay, CSS is like the skin or the paint to your HTML. Okay, it makes the thing beautiful, it makes it sundar. So mostly in the UI part we focus on, obviously on CSS. The thing should look good, so the CSS, okay, very important. The CSS, so CSS stand for cascading style sheets. It separates the content from HTML. Okay, it separates the content from presentation, controls layout, colors, spacing, typography, everything. Okay, obviously we want it to be consistent, so it allows us to do that. It also makes it responsive. As you are seeing, like what is like this responsive thing has also already came like in the previous HTML part also. So we would be covering this responsive design in this CSS part. I would be basically explaining this like how it works, what we need to implement it. So that you can see. Also, I would be showing it for your different screen sizes, so you can understand or get an idea how it works basically. Okay, how as our screen size differs, what is the importance of it? So for obviously introduction, we start with the introduction. So there are many ways to include CSS. Okay, obviously like the image part, we we have like we got it fetched from somewhere and then we displayed it. The CSS can be done also same. So obviously we have an inline part. Okay, we have like in the line. Inline stand for in the line. Basically, it applies to that specific tag. Like if I do it to this title, it would apply to the title. So obviously, so let's do it for this title. Okay. So firstly, this title. Sorry, the so first let's do for an H1 rather than title. Obviously, we cannot put it on title. Okay. So H1. So we got an H1 tag. So hello, I am the CSS. It's not the CSS, but it would be demonstrating what CSS do. So firstly, we would be doing the inline CSS part. Okay, so inline CSS, we obviously we started with style. Okay, style. As you can see, style. If I like do this again, as contains CSS styling declaration to be applied to the element. Note that it is recommended to be in separate file or file. As I would tell you later, it is better to use a different file for it, but we are trying it for first time right now. So we do it like this. Okay, so now the style has different attributes. Okay, so there is a color attribute. So let's use color. Then we have, let's see, these we have these inbuilt colors. Okay, we like it's defined already. We can obviously use anything else from of our choice. We are providing a hex code and all. So for this example, let's get it, let's select this coral. I like coral, so coral. See, it changed into coral. Okay, now let, so h1 already has this. Okay, so let's, I also want something else, like maybe a font size. So I want a different attribute. I also want font size. In the same line, to declare another attribute, we would use this semicolon like we use in C. Okay, so we have font size, font, then we have size. Okay, so we have to provide font size. The font size, I would be like, okay, 30 px, 30 pixels. Okay, should be good. Okay, I can. Okay, so maybe 60 px. See, it got bigger because now the size is 60. Okay, so there are many attributes. You can go to W3 schools. Like I will tell you the sources, and you can study about all of this. There are books on it, but as you practice, you would obviously get to know more of this, and you would cover all of this. Okay, so don't need to remember everything. You can always use Google search, and you know about it. Okay, so then there is the internal or embedded CSS. Okay, so embedded CSS, we for this we have this style. Basically we write everything in this style. So let's just copy it. I would be using same style, so that you can understand. So let's remove this style from this. Okay, now we do not have style, we declare in this. Okay, so we are, let's declare it just after title, style. This is an internal or embedded style sheet. Okay, p, let's just copy the thing, color the coral color and font size. Okay, so indentation, nice, good. Okay, it is like this. Okay, the live server I think does not support this. Hmm. So I think the live server does not support this. So let's maybe try it some other way. Slash we have index. Minute. So there must be some other p paragraph. Ah, we have done for this h1. but here we are writing p for p. Okay, this is a selector. uh, and let's just write h1 for the here. See, it now works because I used a different selector tag, so it was applying on paragraph, but there was no paragraph, so that's why we did not see any change. Then there is an external style sheet, which is very recommended and we use it very often. Okay, uh, so let's make one. So let's see. We use maybe what is index.css for css file. Okay, index.css. So this is now the css file. How we link it? Obviously we want to link it so that we can access all of, we can color all of the. How would the browser know that okay, I want to put the color or I want to put this style? So we have to link it. So let's just link it. So for linking this, we use this same style tag in the head, and then we put the link reference. So we put link rel equal to style sheet. It's showing some ultra selector expected. Okay, I do not need this style tag. Yes. So, so our style sheet has been, sorry for the delay or something if like, so we did not needed this style tag. So basically there are now three ways. Now let's recap it. There are three ways. Okay, we can declare it inline, we can have it in embedded or internal way, then we have the external way, which is recommended. Okay, the external way needs to load up an entire file, so it loads up an additional file in the browser. Okay, so let's see, let's color this one also. If I refresh it now, see there is no because there is no color. Same what we wrote here, we paste it here. Control V, Control, then we have a selector. We want to select H1, then we put here, you put this. Okay, then we refresh. See, the color is back. So that's how we link it with another. Why we need another page or another document to declare all the css? Because css can also get very large, and we usually want to separate our skeleton with our paint to our logic. Like there would be another js file, there would, we can also declare js, which you would learn in the next sessions. uh, like this, like you can have inline, you can have internal or not. But we usually have another file so that it is separated and it is easier to understand. Okay, yes. So now we come to selector. Now if you remember, we were having an error. Why? Because we were using a wrong selector. We were using p, which is for paragraph, but I was applying style on h1. Okay, so what happens if you use wrong selectors? So what is left? So first p. Let's declare a p also. Hello, I am paragraph. Okay, so let's see if I put this and then we have p color equal to, let's say, black. Okay, black. Black would not be good. Okay, let's declare ff triple f. White would not be good. ff5. A yellow. Okay, yellow is now nice. Okay, so this is now I refresh it. Okay, f5 is also not visible enough. f8 also. Hash ff Let's do this one. Okay, hello, I am paragraph. What if I swap this one? Let's see, I put this one here. Okay, now see, the heading becomes this color. It is ignoring this one because it selects obviously the latest one. Okay, so in the document, whichever is lower, it selects that one. So here it's selecting this one. Okay, no. Okay, so let's just resize it. Yeah, so it selects the lower one. Okay, so it's very important to use right selector. And then we have a class selector. If we declare a class, it has a class selector. Class selectors are defined by dot. Okay, so for classes we have this dot. Okay, then there is id selector. If you remember, I put this id. Okay, id equal to, let's see, cat, and then we copy it. Okay, and then we just close this one. And then hello, I am css child. You see, we put child, and then there is kitten. Okay, so we have two elements. We have a css and css child, and then it's cat and kitten. Okay, so we go to this one. This h1 is selecting both of it. Okay, it's selecting both of it. What if I want for just the cat to be selected? Okay, so we will use the id selector. So id selector are defined by hash cat. Okay, and now I refresh it. See, only the first one, which was cat one. Let's put the cat here also. Hello, I am cat. Hello, I am cat child, which is kitten. So I am cat. So this one. Okay, imagine if I put this here, hash kitten. So here is the kitten ones. So that's where this id selector is used. Then there is also universal selector. Universal selector basically do it for whole of the page. Okay, then there is pseudo classes. Okay, pseudo classes basically, let's just show you one. Okay, okay, so we have this. Okay, hover. Now hash kitten slash hover. Okay, so see, the kitten is, right now what the kitten is, the child class, it's black. Let's see if I hover on it. See, it's a pseudo class. Okay, or pseudo element. Like, it does not exist, the element is same, but when I hover it, it changes its state. So that's what for pseudo, that's what these pseudo classes do. Okay, then okay, this is the most important and the weird part maybe. Okay, so, or the thing which you like, depends on the person obviously. So the box model. Oh, so what is the box model? I would explain this via website, which it would be better. So let's go to Google. Okay, so we go to inspect. Hmm. Yes, so the box model is this one. Okay, so as you can see, this, let's see if I can get this one also. Yeah. Hmm. I think I can detach this one. Okay, so content, padding, border, and margin. So this one is content. So here our is Google. Google is the content one. Okay, Google is the content. The image is content. Then there is padding. Okay, then which is a space inside the border. Okay, then there is border. Okay, here in this image there is no border, but there is a border also. Then there is margin. Margin, which is the space outside the border. So this is the basically the box model of the CSS. Okay, and then there are the properties margin, every element. Okay, every element in the CSS also has its properties. So um so like we have this one. Okay, like with Google. Okay, we have padding, we can change its padding, we can change its border, we can change its margin, and then we also have a shorthand way to do this. Basically margin top, margin right. Maybe I just show you one. Okay, let's show you. Let's just show you one. Okay, so imagine I have this. So let me put it here again. Hmm. So we have cat. Let's put a margin over it. Okay, okay, let's put margin. Margin would be 50 px. Okay, so now it has a margin. See, if I do margin, okay, very big margin, it would probably push it downwards. Yep, see, it got pushed like the value 899 from every side. So that's the purpose of the margin. Okay, so let's just make it 89 again. Yes, see. Okay, same goes for the padding, same goes for the border. Okay, then there are border properties. Okay, border with border, let's add a border also. Okay, okay, we have it, a different type. Let's go for the dot. See, we got a border. Okay, then there's a shorthand way to do is individual. Also, we can do this individual top right. So let's maybe we can do this. I can show this actually. Let's just show it to you. We can just copy it. It would be better if I copy paste it. Yes, it would be faster. Yes. See, if I do, so it's, see, the upper one is blue. See, the bottom one becomes green. So these are the border properties. Then there are the element display values, inline, hidden. We can hide it, we can visible, make it hidden and all. Okay, so it would cover this. Then the fundamentals, yes, very important fundamental. So as you were seeing, I am using this type. Then I can also declare it via blue. Yes, so why, how? Okay, so the colors which the HTML or the CSS format uh, what we can say supports are these. So we can have named color are very limited. Then we have hexadecimal, or we can type color to hex. Then we can have this. See, I want this shade, maybe like this is around coral. Yes, yes, coral, around coral. You get this, you have this hex code. Then you put after this hash. If hash is also copied, then I remove this one hash, and then I reload. Then see, this border becomes that color. So we can also use hash, we can also use RGB, RGBA, HSL, HSL with opacity. So these are other type of. Then we have border color, we have also a background color. Let me just show you one background color. Let's say we want this one. Okay, then I want this one to be this. Okay, see the background color, it looks very ugly, but this is how this thing works. Okay, now we also have typography. Okay, we can make font different types. Okay, then text styling and all. So let's just Let's just show it to you. Okay, let's just copy it and then show the effects of it. See, the font family Arial is now applied. If I just comment it out, see, changed. Then there's this form for a font size which could be declared in three ways: the pixel, the M, or C. The M's are desired out of glyphs. Okay, then there are rems. Rem are derived from your screen. Okay, so font can be declared of this size. Let's make it 32 or 36. See, it's now bigger. Then there are font weights. Now let's remove it. We will have the font become bold. Ideally, font weight should just this one. See, it became bold. Font style. You can just remove this, and it will become normal. Normal over here. Then we have decorations like, if we just delete this, see, it's using the last one. So we have line. Then we can do this, and then we can have capitalized. Everything is now capital. So this covers the typography part. Then we have background. Obviously, we have background color. We can also use an image as a background. Okay, we can have image. So let's maybe just show you. Okay, image, background image. You are at this properties experimental. The heck? Maybe I get an image. Will it works otherwise? Okay, I have an error. Okay, it does not works. So okay, so maybe we have to put what I say, like local image. Okay, so image, we can do this. uh so then there is background repeat position, multiple backgrounds. Okay, we can have multiple, we can have linear gradient. I can show you this one. It'll be easy. See, the image one may requires the image to be present on your device. Okay, ff00. There is some error though. See, there is the gradient. I think, oh, maybe it just, maybe because of it then not working. Okay, it's not fetching the image. Okay, so never mind. Okay, so I showed you the gradient part, right? um okay, so we have now the border. Obviously we have the border. I already showed you how we can do the border. Let's just make make a border radius this. Okay, we put a border, basic border, and then border radius. We have a border also. See, if I adjust it to 20, see, it's become like it. So see, the css is basically like what you want, then you try different types of attributes, and then you get a result, and if you like it, you proceed with it. Okay, so then there are now use units and measurements, different types of measurements like pixel, rem, em, percentages. Here the percentage is used, so it all so like that. Then we have the layout techniques. Okay, so layout techniques basically flexbox layout module है ठीक है. Okay, so it has the responsive design capabilities. Okay, so we will go for the responsive design now. Yes, so all of this flexbox and all comes into the respective your responsiveness. Okay, flexbox is a layout module. Okay, one dimensional layout module. It is basically like a bar, and it distributes space and alignment and distribution control. It has the alignment and distribution control. It has a responsive design capability, which we use this in our responsive design. We also have grid. It has a two-dimensional layout system. Okay, maybe I could just show you. Let me just show you examples. Okay. Yes. So one of the resources we can use is if W3 resource. Very nice. Okay. So if I like drag and drop, see the flex box is changing. Okay. So the items are getting dynamically adjusted into the flex box. Same way there is the grid. Then if I write this, we have the grid module. Okay, so see, the grid is adjusting itself according to what the screen size is. So this adjustment, which we call, is your responsive design strategy. Okay, now we have this. Obviously, we have the positioning, media queries. Okay, so now we are finally at the main thing which css is used for. See, css is usually used for two things. First, to give the flair, the color, the sundarata of the web page, and then to optimize it for different devices. So we are not now going to see how. Obviously, we discussed about your flexbox, we discussed about the css grid. Okay, so how we are going to use it, we are going to now see it. Let me just show you. Obviously, when you come to Hackslash, you all would be given a task. Okay, so you have to obviously do it, so you could be inducted. So let's just make it bigger. Okay, so this was my task. Okay, I had to make this. Seems easy. Yes, it is easy if you know. Um, so we had to make this task for the hack slash. We also so what this is what I made. Okay, I will now show you how not having responsiveness hurts. Okay, so if I inspect element on this, see, when I inspect element, let me just, yes. So, so when I do this, like now I select iPhone XR. See how it gets squished up and like it's messy now. Okay, if I do, if I do anything, it gets messy, and now it does not have this. See, I have also used class also here. I use class, okay, class, so that I can put everything on one side. Okay, I could show you this code also, but let's not get into that. Let's talk about the responsiveness only. So this is what not having responsiveness mean to your website. When you go for any other thing, it will get squished. Like for phone, it gets squished. Now how you are going to interact with everything? Okay, it gets over and gets messy. Now, if I have responsiveness, this is what happens. This is the site. Okay, same site, just the color is different. So you could like so that you can like tell how both are apart. Okay, see, I do it for Pixel 7. See, I can read everything. I do it for iPhone SE. I can read everything. I do it for ZenBook Fold. I can still see everything. It's everything clear. It does not get messy. So this is what is the power of responsiveness. It makes everything better. It has like it optimizes your site for different devices. We do this obviously with this command, the media screen and the media queries command. Why? How? How is the better question? So let me show you one. Let me show you this site's code. Okay. So see this one. We have the H1. It has this font. It has this font weight and all. Okay. These hash. Now just remember what these hashes were used for. Huh? These hashes were for ID. Okay. So I have a component which is named ID link, which is named linker. Okay. So it is so the code is for this. The CSS is for this specific uh, command or component linker. Okay, which has id linker, which when I hover it, it becomes large. Okay, its opacity decreases, its color becomes alice blue. Okay, so it's like, see, there's a display flex. This is how we implement flex. Pseudo classes. Okay, now then there is dark mode button. What is this? It's a class or an id, you can say. Now we go to media query. Okay, so this is the media query for mobile phones. What I want is all the element with ID boxes should be on float left, and with their width should be auto. That the transformation like this, the image width should be 100%, so that the width is same but height could be matched. Okay, and then there is font size. I change the font size of h3 to this, the weight this, the padding, the linker has this attributes, so that they could be evenly spaced and they could adjust according to what the screen size is. And how they get the screen size? We have the viewport, which I like already told you, like there is a viewport. Okay, we have this viewport tag, and we use this to get our screen size and all. Okay, so so that's how we create the responsive design. Okay. So this comes to the end of our session. Obviously the web dev field is very large. Okay, so the field is very large, so obviously we cannot cover everything right now, but we could give you the resources. Obviously we would be sharing this whole ppt. Okay, we would be sharing this ppt so you could read through it. Also there are free resources, mdn web docs. You could use just this one. When you like hover over your element or your attribute, you get this. So this is from mdn reference. Okay, so let's just click on mdn pen. See, you get everything, right? Same goes for same. You can have like it is maintained by Mozilla. Then there is a w3 school, which I used to show you the example. There are many examples of css. If you want to see, you can obviously try yourself, right? Obviously explore. Then there is free code camp. So free code camp has all these interactive sessions, and there would be industry professional who would be teaching all of this. You can go to the free code camp channel. Okay, so let me just show you. See, uh, free code camp, and you can also go to YouTube. We have all the videos. These people videos are usually good, and you can learn a lot from them. And not just about HTML, CSS, they have Python, they have every language. So you can learn about basically everything about tech from them. They have great, good courses, and you can explore. And obviously, you can choose whatever suits you. And you can also earn certifications if you want, but I would generally recommend to try to make a lot of projects, try to make and or try to experiment. That's how you learn. Okay, you learn by experimenting, you learn by trying different types of things. See, so that's how you learn. When you try, when you actually give time to anything, you will obviously learn from something, and knowledge is never a waste. So you always try to learn from whatever it's given. Okay, you can obviously explore the Hackslash website also. And this would be all. This would be everything for today, and we will see you in the next session. Bye bye.